There's an urban model common to most Latin American cities. It started with a grid, typically set by a river, with a central area where people could congregate. This model was replicated again and again, and many cities grew and thrived. These cities were so successful that they attracted people from surrounding rural areas and even from other continents. Among them are grandparents and great-grandparents who were able to prosper at rates they could never have imagined. In these cities, economic activities diversified. People could find jobs as well as study, invent, and replicate. Much of our city's success springs from that fact. Today, 198 of these cities generate more than 60% of the region's GDP. They are our economic engines. However, many of our cities have been victims of their own success, growing in an unplanned and disorderly manner, and the economic engine has started to break down. Today, many of our cities are in crisis. They're no longer growing like they used to. 1 in 4 people in Latin American cities live in slums. Less than 20% of the sewage is treated. Rivers that once fed cities have died. We're forced to bring water from increasingly distant locations. Social meeting places have become dangerous. We've turned into the world's most violent region, with 20 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants a year, almost triple the world average. Our cities are responsible for 80% of our carbon dioxide emissions, and climate change is making them more vulnerable. Is it possible to replace this exhausted growth paradigm with a more equitable one? A model that honors our past as well as our future? We think it is. Let me explain. There are about 140 cities in Latin America and the Caribbean that we at the IDB call emerging. These cities are growing demographically and economically at rates above the national average. They face many of the same challenges mentioned earlier, but by working with them, we believe we can have a decisive impact on their development.